Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. You're so excited to have Dr. Cathy. Do I call you Cathy, Catherine? Have I called you Cathy in the past? Now that
Cathy.
all right, good.
Kathy, yes, yes.
I think I call you
Catherine, my
Cathy, but I'm
great
reading your.
grandma called me that.
Well, Miss Cathy Alinovi, yeah, she's our doctor, and she's here today talking more about, well, the amazing work she does. She's helping so many animals and pet owners all over the world with a more holistic approach. And let me first and foremost have her say hello and introduce herself and tell us a little bit about the practice you have now.
Hi.
Hi.
There. That was awfully short now. So I'm owner of Healthy PAWSibilities with a paw, Natural Pet Wellness Center. I'm in Clearwater and Tampa, but honestly, with phone consultations and the ability to do these virtual things, I talk to people all over the world. So that's why you and we talk and we're not together,
I
but
know,
we're
it's
together.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. We are connected like this. And you're
Cool.
helping so many with natural methods for helping them raise their pets and addressing all different health problems with their pets. And this is without pharmaceuticals.
Yep. Yep. Don't do those. Nope. It's food. It's food.
Yeah.
We always start with food, which is the way I quiz you every week on your food.
You do.
Please
You
go.
do. I started with the eggs, but hold on, before we get to that,
Okay.
healthypawsabilities.com. Go to the website, please. And yeah, she's a big
Thank
animal
you.
lover, 100%, as she has a million
Yes,
animals in that house.
I
And she,
do.
what are we up to now total?
10
10
dogs, 4
dogs.
cats.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
They're
I
lots of fun. It's lots of fun.
You are so sweet. So again, she relinquished her veterinary license, 100% holistic, and she's been talking for weeks about the importance of food and how they're tricking us out there. And I see all these commercials. They really stand out. I'm seeing all these
They
IAMS commercials. I'm
do.
like, what? Their pet's so happy, they're smiling, and all these veterinarian approved. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's crap. I'm like, that's a lie. And like, everyone's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I know someone who told me the truth. I'm like, this is a scam. And everyone's like,
It's
what?
working.
I was at my sister's house and we have a little discussion. They were watching the game on Sunday. So I'm like, what? Like, yeah. They're like, no, they have a dog. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, we're feeding our dogs and our cats crap, but because that's what they're telling us to feed us. So I'm trying to spread your word. But
Yes.
yeah, tell us a little bit about that. We are what we eat. And clearly these unfortunate people and disgusting people are putting crap into our pet food that's not food. It's
It's not
toxic.
correct. It's illegal for us humans to eat. So we're keeping it out of the landfill, making it a better planet.
Yeah.
Can you say Wally, the movie Wally? Right. And so how do we convince you that it's okay to feed your cat, who's a carnivore, corn?
Yep.
That's the story. So, and you're absolutely right. And yes, thank you for sending people to my website. On my website, there is a free report. It's 5 ways you may be overpaying your vet and over vaccinating your pet. And I start the introduction there to get people started thinking about things. And it's like, oh, and I don't want to destroy anybody's business because let's be
Yeah.
real, we all need to make money.
Uh-huh.
But I and
But
I, I came to this, gosh, quite a while ago. I was a recent graduate from vet school, and I was working for this really big conventional medicine hospital in Terre Haute, Indiana. And this is when veterinarians were just beginning to discuss 3-year vaccines.
okay.
And so it used to be every year you go in and your dog or your cat gets vaccinated in their annual vaccines. But what research showed was that those constant vaccines were actually related to cancer,
Uh-huh.
especially in cats.
Oh,
So we
yeah.
give the rabies on the right, used to be on the shoulder. We
Yep.
moved it to the back leg. And the reason we moved it to the back leg is it's a lot easier to amputate a leg than the neck.
So true.
And
Oh,
it's awful, but this is where the policies changed. And it started to be suggested by the veterinary community that maybe we should do 3-year vaccines. And my boss at the time, I asked her about it and she said, no, I want people in every year for their exam.
Ah,
And I really wrestled with that. I thought about it and it's like, okay, it was her business. So in her business, I had to do her way.
yep.
But when I ended up moving to my own business, I'm like, if people are coming to me only for vaccines, why are they coming? And this is before I turned into the crunchy granola holistic veterinarian, and before I ever started making vaccine doses smaller and stuff. I was like, if you're coming only for
Yep.
vaccines, and that's not reason to see you. I want it. We signed a Hippocratic oath,
Yep.
yet it's slightly changed in animals compared to what doctors do. But
Uh,
right, our idea is do no harm. And if you can prove to me, and you
uh,
can, that vaccines cause cancer, why am I going to do that? So
ah,
yeah, so that's when I really started thinking about things and thinking, okay, I want to help people with things that make things better. I don't want them to keep coming back for the same thing.
yep.
What about ear infections? Again, I was 1 year out of vet school, 2 years out of vet school. I knew nothing about any of this holistic stuff. And I went to this dermatology seminar, and the dermatologist, straight up Western medicine dermatologist, said chronic ear infections are food allergies.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
So if people
Mhm.
are coming for the exact same ear infection again and again and again and again, why would
Uh,
we constantly medicate and cover it up other than it's a profit center? Shouldn't we get to the underlying cause and give this animal better quality of life?
yeah. Yeah.
That's, yeah, I mean, that was an ethical dilemma. We have to think about these things.
Ooh. Wow. Chronic ear infection. So instead of like the root cause of that would be to, I don't know, do allergy
Food
shots or
allergy.
something.
No, it's a
Yeah.
food
Oh, it's a
allergy.
food allergy.
It's a
Really?
food allergy, right? You got to fix the food,
Wow.
right? Crazy, isn't it? And so, then when I'm talking to people, and often people come to me, and at the beginning, they're feeding regular kibble because that's what they were
Oh, I
told.
know. Hmm.
And so, right, we've all been there. Remember, I used to sell it.
Yeah.
I used to sell that prescription food. And often that allergy is the crap that's in the food. Maybe it's not chicken, maybe it is chicken, but maybe it's the crap, maybe it's the corn, maybe it's all of the inferior quality ingredients. And this is where, again, I talk with people and I help them. Okay, what are you feeding now?
Yeah.
Why? How do we get you to healthier food? And then monitor, we watch the ears.
Yeah.
If it's an ear infection, if it's a dog or a cat who's had ear infections, we watch those ears and how do we monitor them and how do we keep them from blowing an infection? And, somebody goes, oh, my dog has an ear infection. And I'm like, okay, what's it look like? And there's a lot of brown goo. And I'm like, is it
Yeah.
swollen, hot, red, painful? No. Okay, it's not an infection yet.
Aw, look
It's
at you.
dirty. But if you don't clean that ear, and then I how to clean ears, and I learned that from the dermatologist, second year out of vet school. Don't be sticking swabs in there. I can
Oh,
swab my ears all day long.
oh, yeah, yeah.
I
Oh,
know cats and dogs, they can't handle it.
uh-uh.
It's really abrasive on their ears. So, and no, we don't have to use all those heavy duty chemicals, soap and water.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I should say water and soap. It's mostly water, a little bit of soap. And you fill them up because I see you look, you're like, oh,
I'm
how
like,
do
oh wait. I'm like, wait, how do you do that? Because I remember doing like the peroxide with chronic when I was little. They would put peroxide and water or alcohol in my ear. I was like,
sometimes it's alcohol in your own right now.
yeah.
Imagine The inside of your ear is red, swollen, bleeding, and you just put alcohol on it. That
Ouch.
right. And that's what our animals say. They go out. Well, actually, they use bigger words
I'm sure. Yes.
and they
Oh my
run
goodness.
away. Right. But
Oh,
peroxide,
yep.
that's a mild disinfectant, which is why it's effective when it makes bubbles.
Yeah.
It's killing bacteria. Because look, right there, there's a bacteria on my skin. Oh, there's
Oh, it's
one.
everywhere. Oh God,
It's
it's
I
over.
know it's everywhere, but our skin's healthy right there. Now,
So
if I scratch and scratch and scratch and bleed and make it hot and swollen, then the bacteria goes, ooh, blood, I'm going in. And it makes an infection.
nope.
Right. So that's why you start with dirty ears. And then the bacteria say, ooh, yummy, I got food. And they start eating that yucky, waxy stuff. And then the ears turn red and they get swollen, and the animals are shaking their head, or they'll hold the ear down and flip at it and then cry when they rub it or when you rub it. So we need to stop that. So I help people with cleaning the ears, and it's water, 8-ounce bottle of water with a couple of drops of dish soap.
Easy.
Yeah. Or you could pay $30 and buy that expensive veterinary stuff, but theirs is fancy disinfectant, soap and water. Solution is the solution to pollution.
Okay.
When I scratched the heck out of my arm, I needed to wash it. Then the little
Ooh.
bacteria aren't there. And then you can put a little peroxide on like you did when you were a kid, and you make little bubbles.
Aw, you
Kills
little
the
bubbles.
bacteria. Right. Because the peroxide doesn't actually hurt. The alcohol hurts. But so ears, how did we do this? Food allergies, ears, that's how we did this. Crazy, these signs that people have. So my goal is to head things off.
Yeah.
And I just gave you another example of why we talk about food all the time.
Got it. Dun, da, da, da.
Yeah. And, so there's a lot of steps to that, the whole figure out the ear infection thing. Everybody's different. In my house, somebody is allergic to not chicken. So
Yep.
I'm always feeding chicken. But I have clients whose animals are allergic to chicken. I met a dog this week who's allergic to chicken,
Really? Okay.
beef, turkey, pork. So really, this is an immune system gone wrong. And so now we're having to do things like that. And it gets expensive. Rabbit or pheasant.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner's like, it's really expensive. And I'm like, I know. How much money do you spend going to the vet? She's like, okay, I can do this. I can do this.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to keep you out of the vet. Either of us. I don't want you to keep coming to me for we should have figured it out.
Ooh.
So we'll do rabbit for a little while. We'll get some balance in the immune system. Maybe we can reintroduce regular meat proteins later, maybe. But let's not have pain, suffering ears. Some veterinarians talk about ear canal ablation.
Whoa, that cutting your ear ablation like a blade?
Removing the ear canal.
What?
That's the Western medicine solution to chronic ear infections. I'm just going to cut that whole thing out.
Well, you know what they did for my chronic ear infections too? Finally, 2022, they scraped all my bones inside my nasal cavity or something. They said it was going to help, and it was like the most painful surgery. And guess what? I still get sick all the time.
I'm sorry. Oh gosh, if you were
Well, I was an adult, a 20 something, all the infections. Oh, let's take your tonsils out. So they took my tonsils out first. I'm like,
right.
yeah, then, oh, let's do this.
I know. Yeah, they don't say to do that anymore. They're like, oh, tonsils, they're part of your whole immune system. Maybe we need them. If your tonsils are swollen, gosh, maybe you have something going on in your immune system.
Yep. Eat.
Oh, I don't do humans. You don't have a tail.
I know. I know.
It's really similar. It's similar. And we go to specialists because we're looking for help.
Yeah.
And regardless of if it's for ourselves or if it's for our children or if it's for our four-legged children, we go to specialists looking for help. And sometimes things help. And by the time people have contacted me, all the regular Western medicine stuff isn't working, because if it's working, they don't need me.
Yeah.
If symptoms are being covered up, they're like, oh, I don't need to listen to that crazy alternative lady. Everything's working just fine. I'm buying medicine every month. Okay. Yeah. So again, it goes back to food. I was going to give you the list of foods that are
Oh,
poisonous to cats and dogs today.
oh, go for it.
Okay. This is when I warned you I was going to quiz you.
Oh gosh.
Are
Go
you
ahead.
ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I bet you've read a giant list. There's this huge list on the internet of like 60 things, 30 things, and people print it out and put it on their fridge. Most of it's wrong.
Oh, good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's actually a really short list. For dogs, it's 5 things. For cats, it's 3.
Okay.
So super short. Do you know one? Guess one.
Poinsettias?
Part. Okay, poinsettia plants. They're plants. It's not people food, but
Oh,
yes.
I'm thinking of something else. Okay,
And
okay.
it's not.
Sorry,
And
sorry.
poinsettia. No, but it's a really good question.
Sorry, it
Is
just popped in
it poisonous? Exactly. No, it makes them vomit.
there. Okay.
So they eat poinsettia, they puke it, and then they go, oh, maybe I don't want to eat that anymore.
My gosh,
It
poison.
doesn't send them to the emergency room.
Not potato chips. I love potato chips. Sometimes my cat grabs one. So no, that's not killing
Okay,
it.
they're not healthy, but they're not
Okay.
poisonous. Just
What's
like
poisonous?
potatoes aren't really healthy for us either. Okay, there's a holiday coming up at the end of October.
Halloween? Pumpkins?
Yeah.
Wait,
What do
pump
kids get?
candy.
Chocolate.
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 Really?
Yeah. See, you're a cat mommy. Cats
Yeah.
kind of look at chocolate and go, I shouldn't eat that. It's not healthy. Dogs go, ooh,
Oh
sugar rush.
yeah. Ah.
And the more real the chocolate, like baking chocolate, the more dangerous it is. Hershey's Kisses, there's no chocolate in there.
Come
There's a
on.
little bit of chocolate, very little bit of chocolate. It's mostly wax and things that make it look like a cute little kiss drop and that sort of thing. So if my little here, volunteer dog. Oh, she's like, I was sleeping.
Oh, how
I weigh
cute.
5 pounds. Ooh, bark. I woke her up. So if she eats,
What's her name?
I was Daisy.
Oh, how
She
cute.
eats, we've got 5 pounds now. I started it. One Hershey's Kiss, she'll be fine.
Okay.
The whole giant bag that we would set up for the, hey, thank you. Got it. For the
No.
kids for they're helping for
Yep.
Halloween. If she ate that, she'd be sick. She'd mostly be vomiting.
Okay.
And some people might go to the emergency room for that. I'm gonna be like, no, she's not gonna be a white bag anymore. She's gonna have lots of diarrhea
Oh
and it'll
gosh.
clear
Yeah.
out. So it kind of depends on the size of the dog and chocolate and that sort of thing. So cats mostly know better and they don't really eat chocolate much.
All right. What else is poisonous?
Okay. This one's specific for dogs and it's still in the land of candy.
Okay.
Free gum has xylitol.
Yes, I heard of that.
Yep, kills dogs dead. Super
gosh.
dangerous. Right. So like people who have kids and their kids are having sugar-free gum, it's in their backpack, and the kids come home and what do kids do? They dump the backpack on the floor and off they go play. And and the dog breaks in to the backpack and says, oh, gum, I'm gonna eat that. And we're in the emergency room and that's super serious. Okay. Grapes and raisins. This is a dog thing, grapes and raisins. It's a dog thing because cats don't eat grapes and raisins.
True. Yeah.
My cats pick the raisins out of the raisin bread, eat the bread, and leave the raisins. So some dog, again, quantity. If that little 5-pounder I just showed you ate one grape or raisin, she'd be fine. If
Okay.
she ate a whole one of those little kids snack boxes of raisins,
Oh,
I would be worried because she's a 5 pound dog.
oh
But
yeah.
if my 70 pound shepherd ate one of those little boxes, I'd be like, all right, let's all
Uh,
learn the lesson. Let's not do that. But so there's a size thing.
Raisins. Okay. Yeah, true. Okay.
Okay. Next one. I have two very important adjectives. Large amounts of raw onions and garlic.
Really?
Yeah, so people come in, again, this is a dog thing. People come in, my cats pick the onion out of my salad and leave it, lick the salad dressing, eat the lettuce, eat the cucumber, and they don't eat the onion. But so a large amount of raw onion or garlic can be poisonous. It's not always, it's how is it grown, what's the
Okay.
eater like,
Okay.
etc. So large amount. Here I am. I'm in the kitchen. I'm cutting up onions, and a little piece goes on the floor. And all 10 of them come running over to see who gets it first. Fine.
Aw.
There I am in the kitchen cutting up an onion, and I spaz out, and the whole onion goes rolling on the floor. I scoop it up. One, a dog's not going to eat a whole onion, not unless it's the end of the world and there is no other food.
Okay.
For my German Shepherd, she would need to eat a 5 pound bag of raw onions to get sick.
Okay.
So there's a whole lot of like practical reality in this. So my take home message is if you go home and you want to make meatloaf tonight and you want to share it with the puppies and the kitties and there's a little cooked onion in it, it's safe.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good to
And
know.
number 5, it's dog thing. It's I just stole the cooked bones out of the trash can. See, cats don't do that. They know better. Cats will chew the end, they'll eat the gristle off, they'll pick it clean,
But
and
the
they'll leave
dogs will
the
actually
bone.
eat the bones? Oh,
Oh, dogs will eat the bone. They'll break it in half. What the risk is, some dogs, they bite it in half, swallow that sharp piece whole. And
and
so
it'll
this
get lodged in. Ooh,
right and slice and stuff, and it's cooked bones. Raw bones are spongy. And dogs who grow up eating raw bones do great with it. They know how to eat bones like people. Think of a pit bull, that giant, beautiful, big, boxy face. The great way to develop that is that when they're puppies, you start with tiny puppies with a raw frozen chicken wing, and it's a teething toy, right?
got it.
And
Yeah.
then when they get bigger, you give them raw little thighs, leg and thighs, and
Okay.
they just go and they chew all the way down to the
You're
end.
so-
They know how to eat raw bones, and it's good. It's healthy. It's great for their jaws, their big muscle head, like Rottweilers and Cane Corso and those big headed dogs. They need to chew. Um,
Got.
so so you can print out that massive list, and then I'll have you cross a whole bunch of stuff off.
Thank you for that. And it
Yeah,
can I just bring up something to you that I wanted
please.
to ask you, but I know we always talk about me and my animals. So like this time I'm not going to talk about it till the end. But I have some bad news.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Okay. Well, Thursday night, me and the boys, Austin and Jackson, were in bed, and Princess, the kitty cat who was pregnant, remember I told you?
Yeah.
I saw some like red discharge coming out of her. She was
Uh-oh.
meowing, licking. So I'm like, okay, I think she's going to go into
Uh-oh.
birth. I said, and I said to my kids, and I sent a text to my sister, I said, Mommy just doesn't think any kittens are going to be alive. There's a thing called miscarriages because I haven't felt movement in 2 weeks and I didn't feel much to begin
Uh-oh.
with. She only gained a pound. So I put a Covidian pad down because she wanted to lay with us on the bed. And then I put her in the closet with the Covidian pad. So I locked the other two cats out of the room. Well, and all night she was purring with us. Well, woke up and there was a dead cat on the floor. So she had the baby. It was only one. It was an orange creamy color little thing. And now as
Aw.
a person who's been through this before, I run and look and I'm like, it was still warm, and everything was removed off the face. So, panic is that the
She
mother
did her job.
didn't remove the face and like she didn't eat
She
all the
did it.
sac. There was still a little sac next to it, but it looked like the mouth was open. So then I'm like panicking. I'm like, well, not panicking. I woke the kids up. They were upset. My son couldn't go to school. It was devastating.
Aw.
And then we had a little funeral this weekend. But then I'm like,
Oh,
like I wish, you just wish I wish it was awake. Was it alive and I couldn't feel it moving for days, or did it come out dead? Like, I don't know. And so it was really hard on the family. And then I
aw.
had stood home all day Saturday, the next day to watch her, and she's fine now. And
He's
her
good. Okay.
boyfriend's trying to, kiss her again, and like I'm like, get away. But
Let's
that
wait a
was
little
so
while here.
sad. So I know that happens a lot with cats. I've had a lot of kittens, and I know a lot come out either stillborn, or they come out and they don't make it. So that was
You
just a little.
handled it just right, and you made sure that afterwards she was feeling well, because you worry about that. What if there
Yeah.
were two babies and there was still one
Well, and I
inside?
was waiting and I was like, okay,
Right.
no, but all day. And there was no signs of discomfort, because she
Good.
was happy, purring. She was just so
Purring,
affectionate. She still is.
eating.
I
Right.
mean, right? She would be in trouble. She would be very lethargic or sick right now. It's been to have a dead cat in her body, right? She would be
Yes,
dead.
absolutely. She'd be super sick. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We wouldn't be talking. You'd be at the vet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's that.
So we're gonna fix the food. She's gonna have her nutrition so that next time. That's our hope.
All right.
That's our hope.
Exactly.
Let's get her extra kitty nutrition and let's try again and have a nice healthy litter. She should have 3 to 6 little babies. I had
Yeah.
a client who last week, he's like, oh, we had kittens. She's got 6. And I'm like, holy cow, she's
Wow. Well, she's
huge
like a
litter.
tiny little frame. She's
Oh,
tiny.
they're
She's only
beautiful.
like 6 pounds. She's like a little like she's
Oh,
tiny. So I think
it's so
I used to have a little
beautiful.
Persian that was tiny. You would only have a few, like 3 kittens, but like
Yeah.
we're just gonna pray for the next time. But I had to tell you my story. So thank you
Thank
for
you.
listening.
I'm glad you shared. Absolutely. I wanted to know.
Well, thank you. You're always so helpful. And in
Yeah.
closing today, how did you want to leave off for everyone, darling?
Thanks. I'm so glad we talked. Healthy Possibilities with a paw.com. Sign up for a free report and we'll be here next week.
Beautiful. Sounds good. Can't wait to see you again. Thanks so much for always being so helpful and to teach us all about our food and what we should avoid for our pets so we don't poison and kill them. Thank you again.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.